Welcome to Burning of the Midnight Lamp, where we are dissecting music history album by album and track by track. And today we have come to the fourth track on Heathen by David Bowie, an album he released in 2002. Song written by David Bowie, and it's called Slow Burn. And we will start by listening to the song. Here we go.
Time
Slow Burn, the fourth track, the first single from the album. Classic Bowie style song.
It is. You understand why they chose this as a single and another standout track on the album.
Yes, I totally agree. This is, this is the song that popped out of the album. The first listen, together with Sunday, of course, because that was a great track in itself and the opener. But this is the one that just, I thought immediately when I heard it that this was, this is the new Bowie anthem for the new millennium. This is the return of the Son of Heroes. This is a song that he will play on every concert, and this will be a new calling card for him, etc. But even though this is a great song, it was not to be. It's a song that is almost, I wouldn't call it forgotten, but it came out as a single in some countries, but not in the UK, where singles were still a big thing in 2002, and he almost never played it live, and it's very rarely, as I've seen at least, discussed today. It's almost like a forgotten song,
which is very strange, and even stranger when you say that it wasn't released as a single in the UK. We can give a lot of credit for this song to Pete Townsend. And seriously, then it wasn't a single in the UK?
Yeah. And they made a video, but that was, not they didn't put much effort into this video. It's just he was losing interest in videos at this time, I think.
Standing in the studio booth singing it, dressed in white, basically, while a young girl explores a dark control room, and that's it. Yeah. It was released on David Bowie's Vivo YouTube channel in 2011 or 2016. The sources are a bit mixed on that, but it's not there anymore.
Oh no, it's not.
No, okay. Not on that channel at least.
No, I cannot remember seeing it at all in 2002. Anywhere.
There's a small snippet of it, or a brief extract was used to promote the album, and that's it. Directed by Gary Kopke.
Yes.
But the song itself, it has as many great elements here. You already mentioned Pete Townsend, very striking guitar playing in the intro here.
All over it, actually.
Yeah,
You hear it first in the intro.
Yeah, although it's not completely typical Pete Townsend, I would say. It's almost like Pete Townsend was thinking, how would Earl Slick play this?
It's actually Gary Leonard who played it originally. So his was removed from, and he had recorded it. So he was removed and replaced by Pete Townsend. I guess he could live with that. I think he has mentioned that he was sorry that he wasn't in the studio when he recorded it or something like that. So I can hear certain elements. I can imagine seeing Pete Townsend doing some of these sounds that he does. Like when you quickly turn on and off the volume, you get a sound.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I can imagine. I can picture him in front of me when he plays those things. And also Bowie's singing on this track is outstanding.
Yes, absolutely. And the second verse, the phrasing, chills.
I mean, Bowie never sang a song bad, of course, but here occasionally he does some extra acrobatics, and that's certainly what he does here.
So maybe that's one of the reasons why he didn't play it live. Maybe it was just difficult and hard for the voice, and also playing it in an arrangement without the horns, because he didn't have horns with him on the road.
No.
So that could also be a reason.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a difficult song to play live, I think. He could have phrased it differently. They could have done it without the horns. We have had Mike Garson on the keyboards. He could have joined in with something as well. I don't think it would have been difficult to play a version of this song live.
No, it is a bit of a mystery, but
It's quite straight song in that regard, I would say.
But I wonder also maybe you have a point with his vocals that it would be because it's kind of in this registry that perhaps it doesn't work so well when you play in an arena or outdoors.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just it seems like it's a hard thing.
He performed the song 8 times, and only 3 of them were on concerts. It's probably when he played the whole album, I would assume.
Yeah.
At least did that 2 times, so maybe it was 3 times. First time he played it was on MTV Rock and Comedy Concerts. It was part of New York's Tribeca Film Festival, 10th of May 2002.
So was it rock or comedy?
It was rock and comedy. And he played it on David Letterman, actually. Late Night with Conan O'Brien, so many of the TV shows he played it on. But and it has a style as well, that classic ballad style, bit of an R&B influence in there at times. Certain elements of the song that can send the thoughts back to Heroes and Teenage Wildlife.
And
2 songs that are Teenage Wildlife is again reminiscent of Heroes.
And Strangers When We Meet. I thought this was, Heroes, Strangers When We Meet, Slow Burn. They were like a small trilogy.
Rolling bass line and the lead guitar.
Something about the beat.
That note. Mentioned in the podcast earlier, Bowie and Townsend had met during the concert for New York after 9/11 and on 20th of October 2001. And while they were preparing for the concert, Townsend visited Bowie in his studio, actually. Was asked to perform. And but he played, or he recorded it in back home in England. Bowie sent him the track, and Townsend sent his recording back to him. And Bowie described the performance as the most eccentric and aggressive guitar I've heard Pete play, quite unlike anything else he's done recently. Bowie had actually recorded 3 songs by The Who during his career. He recorded Pictures of Lily during the Toy Sessions in 2001 or 2000. And that was actually released on The Who tribute album. For the Pinups album, he had played 2 tracks by The Who. I Can't Explain and Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere.
And of course, Pete Townsend plays on Scary Monsters.
That he does as well.
Because You're Young.
If we take a look at the lyrics, contrary to popular belief, it does not reference events around 9/11. It has a sense of urban paranoia. Lines like the wall shall have eyes and the door shall have ears.
It's almost biblical.
That sort of feeling or sentiment is something that we see in lots of other songs of Bowie. Scary Monsters, Diamond Dogs, maybe more than anything.
Echoes in tenement halls.
And it does have some lines in here that has been used elsewhere. These are the days. It's used in both Under Pressure, The Queen, and The Dreamers, which was released on Hours, the album before. And there's also foreshadowing of Black Star in the line at the center of it all, which is very central on the title track for Black Star.
That's a good point.
Which he ends on here, on this track. It was released as a single, as we said, in Europe, which is regarded as a different market than UK in the music setting, so not in UK, and also in Japan. 3rd of June 2002, so that's about a week before the album came out. Single cover, very similar to, or similar style to the album.
It's a picture of David walking in a desertish landscape, holding a naked baby. Baby is looking over his shoulder, and Bowie is looking at the camera, and he's wearing this long black duster jacket, like a spaghetti western kind of guy.
You're actually a little bit wrong, because it's only Bowie's head superimposed on a male model. Not easy to see, though.
It is.
There were 3 versions of the single. One that had 2 B-sides, Woody Jackson, which was one of the original songs recorded for Heathen that didn't make it to the album, and Shadow Man, which had been up until then an unreleased song that was written around the Ziggy Stardust period, 1971, 72-ish. I remember hearing that original demo version of that song. I must have heard it before this came out. Probably found it on the internet back in those days or something like that. And remember, I was shocked at how good that song was and that it hadn't been released. How could he not release such a great song? Because it really is a great song.
Because he's Bowie.
Yeah. I was a little bit disappointed about the re-recorded version, because he recorded it as a much slower ballad. I liked the little bit more up-tempo version, which is, I mean, it's quite slow song, the demo version as well. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful track.
Just a question, because you were a BowieNet member. Did he ever release anything unreleased on BowieNet?
Well, for a while it was a live album he released at the time.
Live and Well?
Live and Well, yeah.
.com.
That was for members only for many years, but that was released later officially. And I remember when Hours came out that he put out snippets of the songs before the album came out. And
there was this song called Fun. That's a track only performed live, I think. And it was made from a sample, or I think a live arrangement of Fame, I think, that grew into this drum and bass ish.
Oh, really?
Track. It's released today. You can stream it, but there were many alternative versions available on BowieNet.
And you had Telling Lies, but I can't remember if that was BowieNet existed then.
No,
that was
didn't
different.
exist then. That was, but that was the first downloadable single. So that's something from a different era.
And another version of the single was an EP maxi version, which had 3 tracks. The single itself, When the Boys Come Marching Home, which was also one of these tracks that were not released on Heathen, but recorded for Heathen. They later used the drums on that from that track, sampled it on
Bring Me the Disco King.
Reality. And the last song was You Got a Habit of Leaving, which is one of the toy tracks that he had recorded back in 1965, 66, mid-60s. There was a Japanese version of the single as well. It had an edit of Slow Burn. It's about a minute shorter. In addition to 4 other tracks. Shadow Man, When the Boys Go Marching Home, You Got a Habit of Leaving. And also Baby Loves That Way. Yet another old 60s Bowie's song that is not on any of the other versions. It did very well in Italy, where it reached number 16. It also reached the charts in Austria, the Netherlands, and in Switzerland. It was actually planned for a release in UK, but it was cancelled. And that could have been because it was didn't sell that well in these other countries. Instead, UK got Everyone Says Hi in September 2002.
It's such a strange choice.
I agree.
I'm sorry. What?
This is a top album, and then you put maybe the worst track as the single.
Yeah.
Not sure I agree that's the worst track.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, well, it's in strong competition with a different track.
I
But
w-
at least, no, I think you could have put almost any other track on this album on a single. Then Everyone Says Hi.
Even the covers.
I like Everyone Says Hi.
Yes. I'd rather
I don't know
take a
what you're
trip on a
talking
Gemini spaceship.
Any day now. Yes. Any day of the week.
It was nominated, Slow Burn, for Grammy Award, Best Male Rock Vocal Performance in 2003, but it lost to Bruce Springsteen and The Rising.
Always Bruce Springsteen.
Later, it was released on the triple disc edition of the compilation album Nothing Has Changed, and also the compilation album called Legacy.
Just a comment there, because I forgot to say it when we were discussing Sunday, because Nothing's Changed is a line from Sunday that later he reused as the title for this compilation album.
There are cover versions of most of the tracks on Heathen by normally artists that aren't maybe that well known, and quite often on albums that were recorded with only Bowie songs. But one interesting thing is that the frontman in The Killers, Brandon Flowers, he has confessed that he nicked the bass line from Slow Burn for their hit All These Things That I've Done in 2004.
Without asking?
I guess so.
So it sounds like when it
Borrowed it.
It's not nicking if you ask.
No.
That's actually a great track.
Why not?
Anything else to say about the song?
No, I think we've slow burned this Midnight Amp.
I think so too. But I will say it's one of the tracks that I never get tired of listening to.
It's a great track.
Totally
great
agree.
track.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who was watching us. We will be back in a couple of days with the next track on album, which is Afraid. We have a podcast where we are discussing the whole album from start to finish and all the songs on this track, of course, along with other albums as well. We have a Patreon where you can get early access to all the songs from this album, all the videos, and the whole podcast combined in one large film. My name is Frode.
My name is Trond.
And my name is Chris.
And must have a nice day and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't be afraid. We'll be back.